Good evening, everyone. Hi, it's me, Liza. I hope you guys are having a good night. Just a refresher on my big problem. It's going to be transphobia in America. Obviously, there's a big social stigma around transgender people, and that greatly impacts trans children and trans students. My thoughts about my big problem through Brenner's theory is obviously that the individual would be students, the microsystem, parents, siblings, friends, the mesosystem, community leaders, teachers, schools, the mesosystem being teachers and schools and community leaders, the exosystem being local government, bookstores, coffee shops, community outreach programs, macrosystem being policy surrounding transgender people, including discrimination laws, healthcare laws, hate and violence speech, and the cultural surrounding trans acceptance, and then of course the chronosphere being the policy changes, cultural shifts, and or moving to another country, the effects of time over a trans person's life. The key individual group that I want to focus on for my deep dive into cognitivism, is schools. So cognitive learning theory conserves the mental processes involved in learning, while behavioralism centers on behaviors that result from learning. I like to think of cognitivism as answering the question, how did we learn this? And behavioralism as focusing on the outcomes, or what did we learn? Cognitivism really focuses on the mental processes involved versus the observable behavior. The system within Brenner's theory that I see the greatest opportunity applying cognitivism to would be the individual or the mesosystem, schools, right? If we were to create a cognitive learning theory, I think the first thing, it's important to understand your students' prior knowledge and existing schemas. Unconscious bias towards trans people may be an inherent schema itself, and this should be addressed in your lesson planning. Next, we would need to structure the lessons for each cognitive phase, because there's 4 different phases. It's also important to consider the schemas that may be affected and how students will engage with the material throughout these phases, and what schemas may be affecting them at the different phases. We can design a cognitive lesson by first presenting information, allowing students to process it based on their existing knowledge, and then guiding them to draw their own conclusions, right? So in addressing my big problem, the lesson could focus on the crisis facing transgender teens and encouraging students to reflect on the issue and guiding them to delve deeper insights. It is essential to emphasize the differences between trans people and heterosexual people in the U.S., particularly the double standards, discrimination in social acceptance, and safety concerns that accompany being transgender in the United States. I believe this is a significant and complex project, but it may be more challenging than it appears. However, I do hope that these initiatives have positive outcomes on transgender teen suicide rates. And that's all I got. I hope you guys enjoy, and I look forward to hearing your feedback.